Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy Kashif Cole, the guru with the do-rag, and this is pretty much the introduction and the framework and the guide to my self-mastery course. So I titled it the Self-Mastery Curriculum and Course, but I also titled it I'm a CEO, because each one of us are CEOs in our own right. You know, we're CEOs of our mind, we're CEOs of our body, we're CEOs of our soul, we're CEOs of everything we do in this planet. Each one of us are walking guides. An element of this course too, just so you guys know, as much as it's going to be a framework and a self-mastery course, it's also a bit of personal and spiritual development for those out there, because you have to be spiritually and personally clean before you can really dive into what you're trying to do, especially if it's something that you're doing from the core and it's a passion. So the self-mastery curriculum, I'm a CEO, is pretty much a guide and a framework of habits and strategies that you guys can implement in your daily life. So it's going to be a 2-week challenge that I'm going to be inviting you guys to join me on my 2-week, rituals, I want to say, and just what I do as an entrepreneur or part-time entrepreneur, what I do that helps keep me on track and keeps me afloat in order to start, run, and launch a business. So the first thing that I have is self-care. We all need self-care. We all have to be able to take care of ourselves. We all have to be in the right framework. We all should be operating on a certain frequency as gods, because if we are gods, as gods, we operate on logic and reason. We operate on the highest frequency known to man, which is the power of our minds. Most of us, we operate on the lower frequency, meaning we operate off emotional and physical things and things that kind of make us feel good, or things that are momentary and temporary. But as beings on this planet, we're always moving through different dimensions and different times. So we're always moving through time. So it's important that we're always planning for the future and that we're implementing strategies in our life that will help us bring together our purpose. Each one of us has God-given purposes and passions that God wants us to tap into. But if you're not in tune and aligned with yourself and master yourself, you can't really tap into that gift. So the first part of it is self-care. You guys might do something. You might go to the gym. You guys might run every morning. For me, I pray every morning and I go running. That just keeps me going. So every morning, legit, this is something that I've started doing. I pray every morning. You give thanks to the universe. You give thanks to whatever God you pray to. For me, that God is Allah. I'm a big fan of the Nation of Islam and the brothers that are out there on the forefront. What people don't know is that if you're connected to God on a daily basis, He is the creator. So everything that we are and everything that we kind of take for granted, we don't realize that that gift is solely ours because of the God that we have. So in order to be connected to the God within you, you also have to be connected to the God that created this all. And that's how you walk into your purpose. So prayer, I think, is an important aspect of self-care if that's what you are in tune with. Some people have different vices, and whatever your vice is, I advise you guys to tap in with that advice, and I advise you guys to maximize that advice, because you might do something that sounds foreign to me or that I'm not interested in, but if it works for you and it keeps you aligned with your passion or your project, then that's something that you guys should focus on and tap into. So the next thing we're going to go into is wellness. Self-care and wellness are a little bit different things. Self-care is just you maximizing and take care of yourself, but wellness is a bit of you actually monitoring yourself and kind of pampering yourself. It keeps you kind of ongoing with your self-care. So wellness, you might play basketball, you might do cardio, or you might do, you might box, you might run, you might play soccer. The different activities that keeps our body in constant motion so that we're on the same frequency and level as our God mind or our God body, whatever you guys might call it. These are like just different layers that I've kind of laid out so far for my personal spiritual and self-development. You guys might, add something in or trade something off, but these are the 7 or 8 things that I implemented in my life that kind of changed my life for the good and that helped me to become a master. The reason it's a self-master course is because if you become a master of self, you can then guide those and give those the keys that they need to master themselves. The next thing that I want to touch on is communication. Communication is key. You have to be able to conversate with your key, talk to yourself, and talk to other beings for you to always be in tune. Most of us, we have thoughts in our mind that we go through every day. The average human being probably thinks about, 1 million or billion different thoughts a day. But if you can control the mind and you tap into just what you should be doing in an hour or what you should be doing in the next half an hour, then you realize that you become not only a master of self, but you begin to dictate your own schedule. You move when you want to move. You set a schedule for yourself. Most of us have been trained to be on the schedule. You know, you get up at a certain time, you go to a different job, you know, you come home, you watch TV, or you might go to the gym after. Most of us don't even realize that we're programmed to live a certain type of way. We're on a specific clock-bound schedule that revolves around you being at work and then you being with your family. If you can kind of tap into yourself and realize that you can hold the power to create what type of schedule you want based around the things that you hold near and dear to yourself, you realize that there's more things you can accomplish in a day. There's 24 hours in a day. Most of us go through the day just half-assing it. We don't really produce the things we should. But if you can tap into that anchor and realize that you can set your own schedule and be who you want to be and maximize the products or the results that you want to see in your life, you realize that you become way more productive. The next thing that I touched on is spirituality. So I know I've been talking about God and spiritual balance throughout the entire video, but that's because there's that foundation of being God's and being connected to the God is at our core, our best hopes of moving forward to master self. Most of us, we all have beings that we feed into. We might feed into society, perception, whatever it may be. These things are kind of hardwired to control us. But if you wake up every day in the idea or the mindset of giving thanks and being connected to your creator, then it kind of just even kills you for the day. And you're now one with the creator again. So there's no worries. You're not really tapped into what society tells you have to be tapped into. So that's just the 5 or 6 week, 2-week topic breakdown for the Self-Mastery I'm a CEO course. Stay tuned, guys. I hope you follow me for the rest of the course. I hope you enjoy the course, and I hope you get something from each one of these modules that I'm going to be sharing with you.